The top leaders of the Chinese Communist Party have successively announced a so-called economic rescue plan, and the Politburo held an economic meeting in September, which is an unusual occurrence. However, some analysts say that while the Chinese economy may respond quickly, China is not far from becoming another Zimbabwe. In addition to the central bank's announcement of interest rate cuts, reductions in the reserve requirement ratio, and printing money to boost the stock market, the Chinese Communist Party also announced plans to distribute red envelopes to low-income individuals. On the 26th, Reuters revealed that the Ministry of Finance of the Chinese Communist Party will issue bonds worth 2 trillion yuan, part of which will be used to subsidize old-for-new exchanges. Another portion will be allocated to families with 2 or more children, providing 800 yuan per child per month, as well as assisting local governments with debt relief. The Chinese Communist Party also plans to gradually increase financial support for small and medium-sized enterprises. In short, the Chinese Communist Party is attempting to plug various holes in the economy simultaneously. The reason for this is quite clear. At the Politburo's economic meeting on September 26th, party leader Xi Jinping unusually admitted that new situations and problems have emerged in China's economy. The self-media outlet Financial Truth commented on social media that the CCP violated normal procedures by holding an economic meeting in September for the first time, and by giving direct financial aid to the poor for the first time. This shows that the Chinese economy has reached an extremely dangerous point. At the very least, those in Beijing feel that the safety of the nation is at risk. The collapse of the Chinese economy has opened the possibility for social unrest, which could shake the CCP's rule. On the 26th, Li Chengpeng wrote that Chinese people once knelt to the government in groups, then jumped off buildings and bridges in groups, and now it has become common to kill officials. This reflects a transition from belief in a better future to despair, where one life is exchanged for another, a symbol of the times. Li Chengpeng compared it to the tragic Jiangnan slave rebellion in the late Ming dynasty, when servants in Jiangnan, the richest region, suddenly rose up and killed the wealthy and powerful. Notable figures like Dong Qichang, Xu Xiake, and Gu Yanwu all suffered as a result, and soon after, Emperor Chongzhen hanged himself at Coal Hill. Regarding Beijing's economic rescue efforts, Li Chengpeng remarked that only a normal economic system has an economic cycle, and prescribing the right remedy is what constitutes a real rescue plan. Now, experts say that solving China's economic problems is like a medicine vendor saying, you catch a flea, pry open its mouth, administer the medicine, and the disease will be cured. News Investigation commented that the main strategy of these economic rescue policies is to print money. First, the central bank announced that it would print money to save the stock market. The Politburo then held a meeting, encouraging the financial sector to spend more on infrastructure, ensure the delivery of housing projects, and support bankrupt real estate companies. If money runs out, the central bank will print more. This essentially reverts the central bank and the finance department, which were separated in 1994, to the model where the government can print money at will. This is alarming. It's like they're preparing to set off a grand firework at the end, turning China into another Zimbabwe. News Investigation predicted that within a year, hyperinflation will hit, and another large economic cycle will begin. I feel sad for the people at the bottom, but there's no other option. Those who can leave the country will do so urgently, stockpiling US dollars, gold, and food to prepare for the coldest and longest winter. New situation in China's economy. The Politburo holds rare, meeting as Xi Jinping acknowledges challenges. The meeting was chaired by Xi Jinping, leader of the Communist Party of China. During the meeting, it was acknowledged that new situations and new problems have emerged in China's economy, and the call was made to face difficulties and strengthen confidence. Some economists noted that the phrase, new situations and new problems, indicates that time is pressing, and the tasks ahead are formidable. The Politburo of the Communist Party of China, composed of 24 members, is considered the second most powerful body within the party. The meeting recognized that challenges have arisen in China's economy, stressing the need to face difficulties and strengthen confidence, and to work hard to complete the annual economic and social development goals and tasks. In addition to pledging to meet the year's economic targets, the meeting also vowed to prevent further declines in the real estate market. Bloomberg reported that this seems to be the strongest commitment yet to halt the real estate market's free fall and attempt to stabilize prices. The briefing of the meeting, as published by the Communist Party's official media, stated that efforts must be made to stop the decline in the real estate market and stimulate a stable recovery, while also calling for measures to address the concerns of the public. The second highest authority in the Communist Party emphasized that the government would strictly control the addition of new housing projects and focus on completing unfinished ones as part of an effort to ease the housing oversupply. Bruce Pang, chief economist for Greater China at JLL, remarked, "The stimulus plan approved by the Politburo today represents a strategic shift in macroeconomic policy, moving from scattered policies to a more balanced and coordinated plan." He added that the mention of new situations and problems shows that time is tight and the task is arduous. It is noteworthy that the Politburo typically discusses the current economic situation during meetings held in April, July, and December. According to official documents, the last time such a meeting occurred outside these months was in March 2020, when China was dealing with the coronavirus pandemic. Over the past 4 years, September meetings have primarily focused on internal party discipline or organizational matters. Therefore, media outlets have found it unexpected and rare for the Politburo to convene in September to discuss economic issues. The Shanghai Stock Exchange experienced a downtime incident for unknown reasons. On the morning of the 27th, the Shanghai Stock Exchange, SSE, experienced an abnormality in its stock trading system, which prevented investors from trading and canceling orders as usual. Many investors reported delays in brokerage transactions. Trading on the Shanghai Stock Exchange was disrupted, with transaction data freezing at around 10:22 a.m. Following this, the market exhibited a straight-line trend, and the transaction volume suddenly dropped from hundreds of millions and billions to mere millions, with the lowest volume being just over 2 million. Later that morning, the Shanghai Stock Exchange disclosed that it had noticed a delay in the confirmation of stock auction transactions after the market opened and was investigating the cause. When the market reopened in the afternoon, some investors reported that Shanghai stocks were still untradeable, and certain brokerage apps were still unable to process buy orders. The trading market indicated that some Shanghai stock transactions were once again abnormal, with a significant reduction in transaction volume. Financial World reported that testing revealed similar issues with CITIC Construction Investments app, where buy orders remained in a pending state. Several securities dealers indicated that while some Shanghai stocks resumed normal trading in the afternoon, others were still unable to be traded. There was speculation that congestion in the system might need to be gradually resolved. Notably, the intraday trend of the Shanghai Composite Index remained abnormal, fluctuating slightly around 2.5%, with occasional straight-line movements. Additionally, trading software such as Tonghuashun and Dongfang Fortune displayed abnormalities. A representative from Tonghuashun's Investor Relations Department stated that similar problems were reported by other securities companies and that investigations were underway. They are currently reviewing customer-reported issues with securities companies, though the exact source of the problem remains unclear. There were rumors circulating that the Shanghai Stock Exchange had suspended order collection, which were soon confirmed. The exchange responded to the media saying, "The Shanghai Stock Exchange's trading system has experienced delays, and both the exchange and the securities companies are urgently investigating and resolving the issue." As of now, the Shanghai Stock Exchange has not announced the specific cause of the incident or the expected recovery time. This event caused an uproar online, with the topic quickly trending on social media. The world's factory is deserted and in ruins. The prosperous scene is a thing of the past. Why is it so desolate now, with not even one person around? Logically speaking, Dongguan, known as the world's factory, should be bustling with people. Why is it so empty? Dongguan, China, known as the world's factory, is facing an increasingly depressed economy. Many factories and shops have closed. Walking down the streets of Dongguan, you see vacant shops everywhere, each with a for rent notice. Mr. Wang, a supermarket owner, told reporters that business has been bad and he is losing money every day. His store's operating income is 70% lower than it was at its peak in 2007 and 2008. Life is very difficult now. Many factories in Dongguan are struggling to get orders. They either go bankrupt or downsize, replacing large factories with smaller ones. A netizen named Lang Zihua posted a video on Douyin showing many closed stores in Dongguan. In the video, he says, "This is Lin Village, Tangxia Town, Dongguan. Many stores are for rent and so many are closed. Even a restaurant here is looking for a new place to rent. Everything inside, including the second floor, has been cleared out. Many stores are closed. Across from here is the Jindi Qianbaihui Business Center. Why are these shops closing? Why is there no business in such a prime location? There's still a tea shop holding on, but the barbecue restaurant and hardware store are also looking for a place to rent. It's happening everywhere. Even the foot massage pavilion is looking for a place to rent. Rows of stores are closed. Business is just too tough. You see, on this street of 100 or 200 meters, there are dozens of stores looking for a new location. There's hardly anyone on the streets. How can this be? Even this milk tea shop has closed and is looking for a new location. Business is so difficult. There's an industrial zone nearby, so there should be many factory workers to support these businesses. But I don't understand why this is happening." In the video, he also mentions a factory in Huizhou that produces gift boxes. Many people came from Dongguan, Guangzhou, and Shenzhen to apply for jobs. The factory started interviews at 1:30 p.m. Apparently, the factory received a large batch of orders and was short-staffed, so they needed to hire many workers. They offered a high wage of 17 yuan per hour, with an 11-hour workday earning 187 yuan daily. Unexpectedly, 400 or 500 people arrived at once, blocking the road outside the factory gate so cars couldn't pass. This factory isn't very large and doesn't need that many people. The boss was stunned. The supervisor said they would train the workers first, and if they still wanted the job after training, they could stay. If not, they could leave. He explained that the production demands are high, and if tasks aren't completed, workers would have to stay and work overtime without additional pay. Moreover, if they didn't meet their production targets within the first 3 days, they wouldn't be paid at all if they decided to leave. Not only is it difficult for workers without academic qualifications to find jobs, but even college graduates are struggling to secure employment. A netizen posted a video saying she met a college graduate who had come to Dongguan to look for a job. In the video, she says, "It's so hard to find a job. I've been searching for several months. I came here from Shaoguan by myself, and I don't have a place to stay. I tried to find housing, but rent is too expensive, so I've had to stay with friends occasionally. I haven't found a job and the expenses are piling up. I don't have a choice but to keep trying my luck. If I don't find a job, how can I afford to live?" Because so many factories have closed and workers have left, even Dongguan's catering industry has been severely impacted, with many restaurants shutting down. A Douyin user, Li Xingje #1, posted a video saying that business has been bad this year. He saw a restaurant in Hojie Town, Dongguan, which closed down after only 2 months of operation. He mentions a Hakka restaurant that had been running for over 10 years with good business, about 300 meters away from a newly opened Xi'an restaurant, also a Hakka restaurant. The owner of the new restaurant likely opened it because they saw the success of the older one, but unfortunately, they ended up losing a lot of money. Now, no one visits restaurants to eat. In the first half of this year, more than 1 million restaurants in mainland China shut down, resulting in a surge in business for catering corpse collectors who recycle restaurant equipment. Dongguan, once a globally renowned manufacturing hub, had many giant companies, some employing tens of thousands of workers, while others had over 100,000. One such large enterprise was Yueyuan Shoe Factory. Yueyuan Shoe Factory is a subsidiary of Taiwan's Puchen Group, specializing in producing high-end brand sports shoes, including Adidas, Nike, and New Balance. The factory had 2 parks in Dongguan, one in Gaobu Town and the other in Huangjiang Town, with each employing more than 100,000 workers. The total number of employees across both parks exceeded 300,000. At the time, due to the large number of employees, the Yueyuan Shoe Factory had to organize lunch shifts in the canteen every day. After work, it would take more than 10 minutes just for all the employees to exit the factory. To maintain employee morale, Yueyuan Shoe Factory not only provided food and accommodation, but also operated kindergartens and schools for workers' children. Additionally, it had its own hospital, cinema, and fire brigade. In its heyday, Yueyuan occupied half of Gaobu Town, and its total export value accounted for 50% of the town's economy. In 2007, the factory's annual output value reached billions of US dollars. However, in recent years, due to the sharp rise in labor costs, energy prices, and taxes in China, Yueyuan gradually withdrew from Dongguan and began moving its operations to Vietnam in 2012. The once massive factory and dormitory buildings at the Yueyuan Park in Gaobu Town have since been abandoned, standing empty for years, evoking a sense of loss and nostalgia. In the video, she says, "This is the Yueyuan Shoe Factory in Gaobu Town, Dongguan City. You can see how desolate it looks now, but back then it was the world's largest shoe manufacturing factory. At its peak, it employed 300,000 people. You can imagine how prosperous it was. I've heard that during shift changes, countless workers entered and exited the factory, creating a spectacular scene. The nearby night market was always packed. Every day, there was an endless line of people queuing up for interviews at the factory gate.